Today we shall go through the classification of data. In the first class, we are going through the what is data. Data means all type of economics fact related to economics. That's a numerical figures to a particular nature that is known as data. And like age of the student, height of the student, that's the weight of the student. That's a very related figure we are taking. And to find out data and classification which is necessary one to study the data properly. And we have divided the data into two groups: primary data and secondary data. First hand information is the primary data, and the secondary data is prepared out of the primary data. Now we shall discuss what is the classification of data. Classification means to keep the particular group of data in a particular group, similar data together, that is known as classification of data. Let us discuss. So the process of arrangement of data in different groups according to their similarities. So what is similarities? Suppose you are studying the height of the student between the age 15 to 16. So we are taking the similar figure together, the particular height from 55 centimeter to 155 to 161. That's a similarities are there. Particular types of data group together, that's a similarity, and we cannot take the haphazard manner. We cannot take the dissimilar figure together. So that's a classification of data means process of arrangement of data, a similar data together, that is known as classification of data. So while going through the classification of data, we must to consider certain characteristics. First, it should be clarity of the data. That's very important. That's to clarify it. So how can we get the clarity? If we are doing our work in precise manner, we get the clarity of the data, like height, weight, or that you see that that's probably illiterate. That's provided proper clarity. So how many percent of people are literate, or which section are illiterate? That's provided that particular clarity is there. Next one, the data should be stable one, that it maintains stability. How can we maintain stability? Very important one. How all round figures are there given, and the stability means that should not unstable. What we are studying, that provide all type of information regarding that. That's so the data should be stable and flexible according to changing of time. The data should be dynamic one with the changing of time and place. There must be change in the data. There's a flexibility must be there in the classification of data: clarity, stability, and flexibility. There's three things to be considered, and there's three things are the characteristics of classification of the data. Now, what should be the objective of the data? Why we are classifying the data? That's based on the particular objective. First one is reduce the mass of the data. While we are presenting the data in the text, that a lot of mass is there, and the data are haphazardly presented there, and really difficult to study such figure. While we are, that's a reduce the mass of the data. That's the data become compact, so it facilitates study, and that it should be attractive, and that easy for the people to grasp the data, study, and come to the conclusion. That's to mass the data. While we are preparing the text, that's a huge, that a lot of time taking for the studying it, keep it in the mind, and last to come to the conclusion, difficult work. So here, that's you reduce the mass of the data while you are classifying the data. That suppose you are taking the literacy rate, we divide that population of male, female, and age group is there, again literate, illiterate. That's a various thing. We are taking various way of classification, univariate, bivariate classification. We are taking the help of it to reduce the mass of the data. Very important one. To unveil the hidden information. There are a lot of hidden information are there. What's the reality? So that government can take the step, we can take the step, the particular concerned authority can take the step by taking the hidden information. So when you see particular section of the society are not getting the benefit, that's hidden information we are getting out of the classification of the data. Okay. To facilitate the comparison between the related variables, there are two groups of variables. We can easily compare. Let's take the two factories are there, factory A and B, and we are comparing the salary that's R in factory A and B, and we are comparing the working procedure, what the people are working and their salary, are we are comparing whatever benefit which people are getting in both the factories, which one is better one. And now selection for the batsman, you see which batsman is better one. This type of comparison, the variables, that's very easily you can do while classifying the data. Next, to make the data easily understandable and further analysis, while we are doing easily understandable, if you are not classifying the data, how can you make the further study? That's a regression analysis. We are going through the standard deviation. We are going through the mean, median, modes to come to the conclusion. The further making of studies, that's very important one. For how can you reduce the data? Easily we can reduce it. We can understand it properly by studying the data by classification. Unless and until there is no classification, we cannot study it. We cannot understand it properly. So further analysis like the mean, median, mode, or standard deviation, correlation, regression, that's the other study. How can you do it? First to make the data classification. Our classification of data is very important one. First to classify them. Then we are going to further analysis is necessary one to understand it. Next one, to provide the basis for presentation of the data on tabulation and diagram. So another way presentation of data for classification we can present on. There are various way presentation of data, textual presentation. Then we are going to presentation in the table, presentation in the diagram, tabular presentation and diagrammatic presentation. Very important one. Tabular presentation, diagrammatic presentation is necessary one. And how can you present in the table? How can you present in the diagram? That's a very important one. Tabular and diagrammatic presentation. That we see after classification of data, it is very easier for us to present in the table as well as in the diagram. So can any person can study it properly and grasp the idea. Next, the rules of classification. There we see that the four rules, 5 rules were that. Exhaustibility. Exhaustibility means there we see every individual figure must be studied properly while we classifying the data. Must be exhaustible so that we can study every part of the data properly, each and every bit of the data properly, and there's exclusiveness. There should be there is no overlapping of the data. There's a separate data we study. That one data should not overlap the other one, and that's a homogeneous and proper maintained one. That from lower to higher, that the homogeneity should be maintained, and that should be consistent one. If there should not be any gap, there should be consistency is there while making the classification of data. And last one, flexibility. With the change of time, place, the data should be changed. And then finally, we come to the types of classification. There are 4 types of classification of the data. First one, geographical classification. According to the geography, according to the area we are classifying the data. Suppose you are studying the population of India. What's the distribution of population according to the various states? Then we are going through district. Then we are going through the subdivision. Again going to the gram panchayat and township, urban population division, rural population division. That's a geographical classification. Like that we can also agriculture is there. Agriculture has to divide the nation into 4 zones. Again we divide them into different states, and then we divide them into different subdivision and irrigated, dried area. Those are the classification of data according to the geography, according to area. That's your geographical classification. Next one, classification, chronological classification. According to time we were classifying the data. That's known as chronological classification. According to time, in 1951, what should be population of India? The should let it be 51 crores. 1961, that increased to 68 crores. What we observe in every 10 years, how it is increasing? That's chronology, maintain of chronology according to time we were arranging the data. That's a chronological classification. With the, suppose you take the population, suppose you take the agricultural products, suppose you take the export, import, various factors, various data we are getting according to the chronology. Then qualitative classification, according to particular activities are there, particular qualities are there, particular characteristics are there, we are classifying the data. That is known as qualitative classification. Let it be, we are going through the population study, male and female. That's a particular qualities are there, age groups are there, educated, graduate, undergraduate, there are some particular activities are there. You are classifying the data. That is known as qualitative classification. And finally, quantitative classification, according to amount you are classifying the data. that is known as your quantitative classification. So you see that while you are classifying data according to amount, let it be 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20, the marks obtained by the student in a particular class by out of 30 marks while you are examining them. So that's a quantitative way of classification data. According to amount you are classifying the data, that is known as quantitative classification of data. So there are four types of classification. That's your geographical classification, chronological classification, that is your qualitative classification, and quantitative classification. There is four way of classification of the data. So while you are going through classification of data, we must to know the definition of classification. Then characteristics are there. There is objectives are there, and rules of classification, and last one is your types of classification of the data. So you people, I think you understand this properly. This much for today.